Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they're doing it Bravo style. Yes, we finally got the trailer for Prince Harry's documentary, which now has become Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex documentary on Netflix. And needless to say, if you were expecting a classy take on Polo, you would be very, very mistaken because this comes across as very much manufactured drama. And honestly, it just doesn't even seem like there's much of a story there because some of the biggest tension in this series is I want to win. I believe so do most people who compete in competitive sports. I think they all want to win. There's nothing unique or interesting about that. Or a bit of tension between father and son because father is sometimes too hard and the son is just doing something. And then you have one woman whose husband is traveling for polo and she's pregnant. Oh, the drama, the tension. It's obviously non-existent. And this documentary looks horrifically bad. It looks boring. It looks sort of the tawdry thing you get from reality TV. If you were expecting again a classy look at Polo, look somewhere else because it definitely isn't here. And I think it's clear that Harry and Meghan have been told by Netflix, "Hey, try to amp up the drama because you guys really stink at documentaries and we really need at least another success from you to feel like we somewhat got our money out of the deal." So we are going to look and react to this Polo trailer and you can judge for yourself as well. What do you think the future holds for Harry and Meghan? Based on the dislike to like ratio, it's not looking so hot. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, hello, my name is Brittany. I provide compelling royal commentary, so please hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely love to have you back. And if you want to talk about the other royals, we do have something every week called the Crown Report. It goes live on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's just an opportunity to cover a lot of the major royal news stories of the week. I offer a bit of commentary, a bit of news, and it's just, I think, something so fun to share with people because so many people enjoy sort of dissecting the train wreck that is Harry and Meghan, but they want to learn about the other royals too. So that is a great program for you. And I put some of the short snippets on the channel as well that you will see. And I'm wearing a glittering headband today because after this, I'm recording a tiara video for Tiara Thursday on my fashion channel, Royal Fashion News, because we have a pretty massive change, I think, happening in the British monarchy, and I could not be happier. I'm really, really excited. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to click the link up above or check out down below. And I've linked Royal Fashion News. Very simple. I try to do some royal videos, and yes, sometimes I'm a bit behind there, but I do love that channel. It is so fun, and I can't wait to talk about the change I see coming in the British monarchy is just, my heart is happy. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested in that tiara video. Will be up later today. However, let's get back to Polo. Genius title there, right? Polo. So this is something that we had heard about, and basically Harry filmed this, and I guess now with Meghan, because I believe we were initially told when this was shared that was going to be Harry's. I should look that up real quick. So I am wrong. So per Deadline, this series was a joint project for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Unfortunately for Harry, the cooking show is not, if that is a success, because this certainly will not be. But they also had to produce it with other people. And what this has always indicated to me is that Netflix was like, okay, you can film some more things, but you really need people to help you because documentaries are just not really a successful endeavor for you. So this was originally pitched. This was in Deadline early this year in April of 2024. And this was pitched as following the world of professional polo shot primarily at the U.S. Open Polo Championship in Wellington, Florida, at the USPA National Polo Center. The series will explore the world of the sport, which is known primarily for its aesthetic and social scene. It will pull the curtain back on the grit and passion of the sport, capturing players and all it takes to compete at the highest level. Prince Harry has been known as a keen polo player and is often photographed playing internationally. That is not really true. He's not often photographed on that. He is occasionally, very limitedly, maybe once per year, photographed doing that. So this was just sort of an interesting little bit to sort of start off on where we are at when it comes to polo. But of course, now we have to look at the actual trailer itself, which left a lot to be desired. And I want to point out immediately right here is that we have a dislike ratio. I have downvoted it personally. You are welcome to do what you want, but has 433 up votes to 3,400 down votes. Now, of course, this is not a total indicator of how many people will actually watch X thing, but it's always sort of a idea of where things stand. The reality I think this shows is that when it comes to Harry and Meghan, their really hardcore like percentage is 10%. 90% of people don't really like them. And that should be a grave concern to them, especially when you're looking at something like this. Netflix should be aware of something like that as well. So we have Sentabale here. You can see that. That could, no, probably not. I was saying that could be Harry over there. I don't think so. But let's go ahead and watch. We do have to stop about every 15 seconds for copyright, but let's go ahead and begin.
Imagine going on a horse at 35 miles an hour with someone coming at you at full speed.
The adrenaline that goes through your body, it's addicting.
So I want to point out here that the first thing they had to do in big, bold letters, executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Because yes, their track record has been so good when it comes to producing documentaries. No, it's been crap. It sucks. So this is, you could say, not a huge surprise, but it is a bit because I looked back through their other documentaries and it did not say that. The Invictus series, Heart of Invictus, only said Archwell Productions. Now, granted, Harry was the first person you saw in the documentary, so, or even in the trailer, so that could be an indicator of why they did that. They don't want you to forget that this is Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, because Netflix knows this is not very good, and it's the only reason you would watch it. The only reason people might watch this is because of who it's attached to. No other reason. That's why you put them in big, bold letters. It's because you know that when it comes to the story, this isn't good. We heard initially, now, it seems like this is just a movie rather than a series, because at least with the Heart of Invictus, I look and it said limited series. This does not say that. Let's look and see the description. If it says over 5 episodes. So this is true. 5 episodes. Golly, this looks dull. This looks so dull. I'm surprised it doesn't say limited series. Anyways, so behind the scenes at the look at the fast-paced, glamorous world of Polo. But we have heard, and so this seems to be now indicator that that initial report was true, is that the Netflix execs watched this and thought it was dull and wondering where Harry and Meghan were in it. So that's part of the reason why this is here. But also, you watch through this trailer, you don't recognize anyone. And none of their storylines seem particularly compelling. In fact, they seem so pedantic. It's not even, almost not even worth mentioning, to be quite honest. But let's keep going.
Polo is not just a sport. Polo is a lifestyle.
But as an audience, I think to myself, do I care? Because it's not a lifestyle I lead. This is so beyond the lifestyle I have. I mean, I was even looking at doing a little bit of research. You know, a good polo pony costs $200,000. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8, you could say, in a sort of low, maybe not low income, but an area where houses don't go for 400 and 500,000. So let's say you get a condo for like 200,000. So there's 8 condos out there running around. You have potentially 16 Tesla Cybertrucks there running around. Does that sound like a world any of us can connect with? And it's a lifestyle, but it's a lifestyle none of us can connect with. And do any of us aspire to be? Because that's the question, because this is very much riffing off Bravo and I feel like Real Housewives, and you'll see why.
We eat, we breathe, we sleep polo.
For sure, it's glamorous. It's a sexy sport, too. Dirty, sweaty boys.
Okay, I have such an issue with that. Dirty, sweaty boys. It's just like so tacky. It's so tacky. I'm sorry, but that guy doesn't look real attractive right there. He actually looks really short and small. That's terrible of me. So it's like, and look, that car right there, 6 figures for that car. And then they showed all the Lamborghinis and Maseratis and stuff or whatever, or Lambos and Ferraris earlier here. So yeah, it looks like these, I mean, of course, very expensive. You got expensive BMW, I'm sure, over here. And so none of us have any connection to this. And the question is this something any of us aspire to be? Or is this something like any of us are all that interested in? That's the big question, because yes, you have shows you watch for the aspirational aspects of it. You want to be rich for like the Kardashians. You want to be X, Y, and Z. I get that. I totally get that. But is that what this is going to give most people? Or most people going to go, this is so far removed. It's so weird. I can't connect to this. And it's really long. 5 episodes for this. I don't know if it's that worth it. So let's see.
It's glamorous. It's a sexy sport too. Dirty, sweaty boys riding.
Yes. The other thing is, I have no clue who that is. Do I care about her? No. Should I? I guess. I don't know. But it's like, I have zero connection to her. So the big question is, because this is so far removed from what anybody wants, and yes, somebody said, well, sports documentaries on Netflix are super popular. Yeah, because the sport itself is super popular. It's not because the documentary necessarily is good. You'll have one on Cristiano Ronaldo on Netflix, and that'll be a smash hit. Why? Because he is world famous. Nobody gives a crap about these people. In terms of this world, this is a subsect of the niche. So it could be big. I mean, guys, I could be totally wrong, and this could be huge. I just don't think it is. And it comes across as really tawdry. And there's no storyline here that I'm like, oh, that's compelling. And you'll see why.
The best players in the world come to Wellington to compete in the US Open.
There's a lot of competition. Everybody is fighting for themselves.
So it's a lot of competition, but why? What is the draw for us? Yeah, it's a competition, but there's competitions all over the place. So what makes this one special? Just because it's polo? I just don't find any of this really compelling.
This year, the big story is a father-son duo. They're playing against each other.
Okay, that's the big story of the year, is father and son playing against each other. And I'm like, that's the big story? Really? Really? That's the big story you got here? It sounds like they didn't have any other stories. Now, what a good story would be in this particular situation is somebody who had a really tragic accident playing polo, and this being their first time to get back on the pitch, and their rehabilitation. That would be actually very interesting, because I think they shot this just over a weekend, pretty much. They had a very limited cache of stories to pull from. Now, another example would be, as somebody grew up in extreme poverty, happened to become very successful and very passionate about polo, that could be a compelling narrative. I'm sorry, but a father and son going against each other that we don't care about, that we have no history with, I don't find that compelling at all. Like, at all. I find that so boring and basic. But it goes to show, I don't think they planned this well. I think they basically were stuck with whatever they had. And I'm sorry, but nobody cares about this.
I want to win against my dad. I can say that I be the greatest of the sport.
So I can be the greatest at the sport, a sport nobody knows about, where the horses are doing the vast majority of the work. Let's be honest. So I want to win. That's your compelling thing. I want to win. I believe that is what all sports people want to do, is win. Like, and you're not even from the United States. Here's the thing too. You can tell the accent is foreign. So my question is, I don't know, because I know none of these people basically, is if they came from international to play here, why are we so compelled to see them succeed? I guess you could say. I just don't know. And I find this all very weird.
I'm very proud of my son, but I try to beat him.
Okay. Very proud of myself, but I try to be like, this is so like boring. This is so boring.
I think it's healthy to have somewhat of a personal life outside of being an athlete.
It's helpful to have a personal life outside being an athlete. Well, no duh. Like, seriously. This is so unbelievably dull. Like, I want to have a personal life outside of being an athlete. Well, so does every other athlete in the freaking world. It would actually be more interesting for them to go against the grain and go, polo is my whole life. I sleep, I eat in the stables to be near my horse at all times so we can practice, we can go and go and go and go. That'd actually be more compelling than going, well, I just want to have a personal life too. Well, like, I believe everybody does. It's actually more compelling to have the inverse. So they picked the most boring people in the world to do this.
Timmy is extremely charming and his looks are what they are. It's a distraction.
Okay. Is anybody else getting Bravo vibes from this? And it gets worse. It gets worse. I so get Bravo vibes from that. Well, his looks are a distraction. Like, so that's just what? This is so weird to me.
Cuts the ball back at the goal. Stupid play.
My father, he's the team owner and coaches us sometimes.
I don't.
So it looks like a lot of tensions between fathers and son. My father coaches and he's hard sometimes. Like, I believe a lot of coaches are and a lot of team owners. Why? Because they want to win. Why? Because they put in money to this. This is not hard. Oh my gosh.
I'd like to hear him criticize Timmy.
Too many handoffs didn't go well. The transitions were not right. We
The whole
fouled too
goal
much today.
Is
Too
to
many
make this
times.
kid better.
Why do I care? This is so dumb. Oh, you're too hard on the kid. Well, I'm not hard enough. Oh my gosh. Like the manufactured drama here. There's like no real drama. This is all so obviously fake.
Men.
Polo can take a toll on your family, and that's no secret.
I started traveling, but
Oh, yeah, because all of us have a helicopter behind us and are making millions of dollars to be able to do this. Yeah, that's so hard. Look, she's even wearing a stinking Cartier bracelet right here. I bet you those earrings right there cost 5 figures. Oh, my heart bleeds for you. Compared to a veteran or a soldier who is deployed in combat and has to leave a family of 4 with his wife home alone, and she has to struggle every day because her husband is, let's say, in the Navy SEALs or something, very, very competent and goes off and does incredibly dangerous missions and is always at risk. Yeah, that is actual tension. You arriving in a literal helicopter. I'm sorry, but that is not tension. That is not tension. Look, it looks so elitist. It's so elitist. Like, why would anybody watch this? Oh, gosh. Oh, I started traveling back and forth from Argentina twice a week because, all of us can fly, halfway across a continent every week to play polo. None of this is connecting. This is ridiculous. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I started traveling back and forth to Argentina twice a week.
When do you come back?
I don't know.
You can't do that when someone is pregnant.
So I feel like this is just so, you can't do that when somebody's pregnant. But she's making millions of dollars. She's living off this millionaire's lifestyle. So I'm sure that's difficult, but I have no sympathy for somebody in that, to a certain extent, in that tax income bracket, because you have so many more opportunities that other people do that you complaining that he's not there all the time. It just doesn't come across well. And it looks like maybe even if this is the relationship and it's like an older guy and it looks like a younger woman, like, do you have that much sympathy? He's got a young wife. I feel like in some of these relationships, you have to kind of accept that his passion isn't quite there. So for you, because it's like he's accomplished everything he wants to, and he just wants to go off and do other things. It's kind of, yeah. So maybe, am I terrible? Maybe I'm terrible.
I don't know.
You can't do that when someone is pregnant.
I've put more at stake this season than I ever have in the past.
But you travel back and forth to Argentina all the time. Does anybody care? That's my question. Does anybody care? What legacy? What legacy? I mean, for legacy of the 20 people who play polo professionally in the world, because nobody else will. Okay, just again, we're trying to make too much of this.
The Cambiasos have a huge target on their back because they always win. How can you not want to beat them?
For courage to play on a horseback with your millions in the bank, that's courage, I guess. It's not really courage.
A whole bunch of dangerous things that can happen. It's not a motorized vehicle. It's not a car. Think about a 1,200-pound animal.
which I'm sure many of the members of PETA would be happy to tell you, well, you don't have to play on the 1,200-pound animal. You maybe should do trail riding and stuff like that, but maybe don't play polo on them or like kill a horse by playing polo on them like Harry did. Yeah. Yeah, you also don't have to do that. Don't. For glory, for like this again, this is such a small circle of people. Like to say for glory it's like having a neighborhood competition. That's like the level this is, to be honest.
Today we have to move forward.
I'll do whatever I have to, because at the end of the day, I have to win.
I have to win. So do I believe that everybody who plays a sport believes they have to win.
Buckle up, folks. It's only going to get better from here.
It's only going to get better for here. Not for those of us who are going to have to watch this, I don't think.
When you crank it up to 11, people can't hold on.
Oh, I feel like this is terrible. So cheap looking too. To be quite honest, I don't like this. It's kind of lame. Only on Netflix, December 10th. Are you excited? If you're not, I don't blame you, because I'm not either. Like I said, guys, I just don't think this looks particularly compelling. I feel like it looks like a lot of manufactured drama from people who have every benefit in the world. These are people with money, with privilege, with power. And they're complaining, oh, it's hard sometimes to win a competition. Oh, it's hard sometimes because my husband has to travel all over the world to play the sport he loves. And sometimes he leaves me at home alone, pregnant. My heart bleeds for you. And I'm sure some of that is hard, but I think of the people who are actually struggling in the world, the people who are actually going through hardships, and I don't care about the people playing polo. I don't. And I feel like that's going to be a lot of people's perception of this, especially when it goes on for, let's say, 5 stinking hours. A polo sounds really dull, to be quite honest. And there's a reason why it's not well watched. There's a reason why there's not a huge following. Why? Because it's an elitist sport for elitist people. And you could pull back the layers and show some of that, but I just don't see this becoming a huge hit. And obviously, Harry and Meghan are a huge factor in that, because as we've seen already here, right here, we have, you could say about 11% success rate here, or 11% approval upvote rate. So let's kind of keep going here. Let's see what the comments, if there's anything. Pity those poor horses suffering for rich men's kicks. Is there going to be a show about the abuse of the horses? Are you going to address Harry killing Drizzle and her unborn foal, or his aggressive abuse, spur use? Nope, ain't gonna watch a show that is a vanity project for Prince Harry's BFF and animal abuse. There is absolutely no sexiness with sweaty men beating and kicking horses. Shame on you, Netflix, for putting this show out. Why can't you see how many dislikes it has? Why would anyone want to watch a bunch of rich elites abuse the horses, let alone one produced by 2 bullies who do nothing but play victim and complain about how hard their lives are? Honestly, if it weren't for the diplomat, I would cancel my Netflix subscription. I'm very annoyed I've helped pay for this. Oh, look, it's a documentary approving animal abuse. And this darn trailer is boring and stupid. It is boring and stupid. I would agree with that. Not sure anyone else is interested in watching rich people struggle with a game. Netflix really missed the mark with this one. David Beckham's documentary was so much better than this. He didn't have to have wealth to achieve his success. He needed talent, luck, and hard work. So much more interesting than this. Give the Beckhams more work. They've done a better job in less time than Harry and Meghan. And what she's saying here, Monica, is absolutely true, because we want to see somebody go from rags to riches. I think it's really less compelling to watch rich people complain about their rich lives, because this is a sport for rich elite people. Those horses cost 2 Cybertrucks, 2 base Cybertrucks maybe. So how are we as the public supposed to connect with something where everybody already comes into it with 2 Cybertrucks? I think most of us would be like, I don't fit into that world. I don't understand that world. And even if you were interested, let's say, in doing polo, how do you do it? Because you don't even have the money to begin. If you're, let's say, in an impoverished area, you can't be like David Beckham and be great at soccer. And that propels you to great things, because you don't need anything to play soccer except for a ball and a goal. For Polo, you need a $200,000 horse. You need boarding. You need travel expenses to take the horse various places. Do you have any idea how expensive that is? I have no idea, but I'm going to guess it costs in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to compete in this sport. This is something most people cannot fathom, and it is not achievable for anyone. We want to see a story like David Beckham because it gives us all the hope that one day maybe we can achieve something like that. But with Polo, it's like, well, those people are already there. They didn't have to struggle to achieve anything, at least to most of our perceptions. Now, granted, maybe that story is in there, but from what we see in the trailer, it's not. So, Poor Horses, seriously, Netflix. I'd rather watch David Beckham's documentary again. That was true entertainment. Never really knew much about the Beckhams, but after their documentary, I love them. 5 hours of this. Somebody else asked, horrendous sport of rich people abusing horses. I'm glad I canceled Netflix this week. Richie Rich 2, the suffering of animals for self-gratification. What's next? The exciting world of croquet. Those poor horses. Looks like a cheesy reality show. We're told to drink through paper straws and have 4-minute showers to save the planet, while this dude is traveling to and from Argentina twice a week to hit a ball with a stick while abusing horses. That's a good one. I'm gonna give that one a thumbs up, guys. I'm gonna have to give that one a thumbs up. That's good. I think I'll just watch the reviews. They should be pretty funny. And that's the thing. That's the thing. When I did my review of Heart of Invictus, I showed this actually to you guys in a video. I'll try to post a link up above. My video reacting to Heart of Invictus got 100,000 more views in a month's time than Harry's got over 4.5 months time. What does that tell you? Is that more people wanted to watch a reaction to it than actually watch the thing. And I think that's the reality for this as well. More people will be interested in watching the reaction than watching the actual show. This has happened several times over the last couple of years. The Velma show, which I've watched people react to, it looks horrifically bad. Horrifically bad. And I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan, by the way. Love Scooby-Doo. Actually, if you rewatch the first season from like the 1960s, it's actually par excellence. Also, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is very good. Just gotta point that out because I'm a fan of Scooby-Doo. You also have, let's say, The Acolyte, Rings of Power, and probably numerous other shows that I have and movies that I have watched people react to without ever seeing, because it's more entertaining now to watch somebody react to it rather than actually watching it yourself. So I will be doing a review on this, but I'm not sure exactly when I'll get it completed because, guys, I am hoping, fingers crossed, to be in the Netherlands, maybe covering the state banquet on the 10th, because I'd rather be doing that and the Nobels. We have tiaras, guys. Tiaras, so much better than Polo, because guess what? Those tiaras have been in the family for, in some cases, maybe 100, 200 years. We have beautiful diamonds, jewelries to look at, and they are royalty. And the Polo people are just rich snobs running around on horses. So, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of Harry and Meghan's latest flop in the making. I'd love to get your thoughts, and I shall talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.